Hi, this is Ian Westerman, head pro at EssentialTennis.com, where it's my mission to bring passionate instruction to passionate players just like you. Welcome to episode number 26 of Ask Ian. Today we're going to be answering a question from Nikolai, who wrote in and said, "Hey Ian, during a tournament last week, people have been commenting that I need to be much more muscular to play better. I'm not a gym rat and have a pretty skinny build. Instead of weights, I love doing cardio exercises and making sure my legs are fit. How significant is it to have a beefed up upper body for tennis?" All right, Nikolai, you're asking the right guy that question. I've always been very, very thin. I'm actually quite a bit heavier now than I was back in college when I was playing the best tennis I've ever played before. And I mean, just apart from myself, if you look at professional players, there's all kinds of examples of very, very high level players. Typically when they're first starting to kind of get onto the tour, they're first starting to find some success. For me, when I think back at Gustavo Kuerten, Guga, he was very, very thin, even as he continued through his professional career, but especially earlier on. Andy Murray, when he first started kind of making a breakthrough in his professional career, he was quite thin. And I think I have somebody else here. Sampras, when he first started, when you look at his first Grand Slam, he was quite thin as well. So, I mean, there's just off the top of my head, a couple of examples that for me, I right away thought of when I start thinking about players who are thinner, you know, really more on the skinny side of the spectrum, and still incredibly, I mean, the highest level players. We're talking about those players. So, you know, for the rest of us that are playing at, you know, wherever between beginner and 5-0, is it necessary for us to, you know, build muscle and build size and get stronger? Well, it can be beneficial to gain strength and gain muscle, but it is not by a long shot the most important thing. I mean, fitness in general, don't get me wrong, very important. But that being said, I'll take somebody personally that has beautiful technique and, you know, solid fundamentals and just a good shot maker in terms of technical execution. I'll take that as far as potential is concerned any day of the week. I mean, if you take an individual match and you say, okay, somebody who has beautiful strokes and out of shape versus somebody who's in amazing shape but ugly looking strokes, I mean, the person with ugly strokes can win and does win all the time. So, you know, it's not necessarily that you can necessarily pick one or the other, but is lack of strength holding you back? Probably not. Could it be beneficial? Yeah, it could probably give you some benefit, but being technically sound is immediately more important than just building strength. If you're working on your cardio, then you're probably, you know, in overall good physical condition. If you were out of shape, you know, and you were overweight by a bunch, then I would say, yeah, maybe it's something you should focus on. But since you're already in good shape, then I don't think this is certainly not something that's necessary or that's essential for you to, you know, greatly increase the level of your play. Last thing I'll say, Nikolai, is simply that be sure that you're focusing on the right kind of training for tennis. When you think about a tennis match, we're talking about very, very short, intense bursts of output. I mean, we're talking about 5-10 seconds on average, probably at most, that a point is lasting for most people. And then you get 20-25 seconds of rest, of no, you know, basically no activity. Then 5-10 seconds of high intensity activity, and then 15-20-25 seconds of no activity. And so you have this up and down of high intensity followed by low intensity. You're talking about cardio, which to me typically means steady intensity for long periods of time. That can have some benefit to your tennis, but if you're going to pick just one kind of exercise to complete, it's going to be more beneficial to you to more mimic what a tennis point is like. And that is what's typically referred to as high-intensity interval training. Bursts of very high intensity followed by a rest, and then another burst, and then another rest. Going even and steady for long, for half an hour or an hour, not nearly as effective for tennis-specific output. So there's something to think about. And I'm just kind of skimming the surface here, but just giving you kind of the thoughts that are coming right off the top of my head as far as your question is concerned. So, Nikolai, hopefully that's helpful to you. If you've tuned in today and you've enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and click like. Also, be sure to subscribe to the Essential Tennis YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any future episodes of Ask Ian or video tutorials or pro footage or anything else that we're constantly publishing. Lastly, if you have any comments or questions at all, please feel free to leave those down below. I might use your question in a future episode of Ask Ian. I personally read and reply to as many as possible. With that, thank you so much for watching today. I appreciate it. Take care, and good luck with your tennis.